Hi, welcome to Analytics Friday. Today we're going to talk about attribution models. So attribution models, they are been around for some years now, and today we're going to talk about attribution models. In this case, Google Analytics attribution models. So let's see. So attribution models, as you know, the customer journey has different touch points. This means that when you view an ad, you can attribute for that ad that has more value that when they see your ad on social media, for instance, or they see a post, or they search for that subject that comes to your website. So, customer journey, there are different touch points, and these touch points has some value to the conversion path of these customers. So, nowadays we are using before these five models that we are seeing on your image. You can see that we are using on Google Analytics. So Google Analytics use his own model that is non-direct attribution model for Google Analytics in this case, but you can see the same data on these five models. So the last click was very used on AdWords. Nowadays you can change that for another model, even data driven, if you have data for that. Okay, so the last click is very conservative. So only on the finish path of the customer journey you are attributing for that last click. But for instance, you have the travel sites, travel portals that you see first your destiny, then you talk to your wife or girlfriend, and then you decide what is the destiny. Then you're going to search about hotels, what to do there, what you can do, what you can have fun on that destination for your holidays. So, and then you buy. So if you know what I'm meaning now with this example, you can see that the last click takes the full credit for this journey. But if you see that, okay, in the meantime that I'm going to have some tactics for them for inclusive retargeting for them to decide for my portal and for my prices and my discounts for a different supplier, a different sites, so or different business in this case. So you can use time decay. That means the time is going to pass, and that is given more and more importance. The linear model, it's a model that's it's the same value for all channels. It's divided, so it's 25%, 25% for each channel if you have four. Okay, position based is a model. It's not dynamic model, so it's based on the position. So you can attribute a value for the first click, like 20 or 30%, and then the middle touch point you can attribute another value, and then the last you can attribute a value as well. This all has to do with 100%. Okay, and then you have the first click. This model is very used as you are not an unknown brand and you're trying to get on your market. Okay, and you want to set a position and to drive awareness of your brand. So this is very useful for this kind of strategy. Okay, I prefer on the long term, and I think everybody prefers to have a data-driven model. Okay, this data-driven model will be very useful when you have Google Attribution or Google Attribution 360. Because data-driven nowadays it's only on 360, and you can have 360 with this data-driven model. It means that all steps are looking with intelligence to see which path drives you more, and which channel drives your conversion. So this is very important. You see, for instance, the tendency to have all attributes to mobile, all attributes for desktop. In the case of the travel agency, when I'm looking for my destiny, I have some time spare when I'm going commuting, when I'm on commuting, and I can search for destiny and bookmark some things and see, okay, I'm in touch with my wife or girlfriend about this destiny. I like it a lot. She is doing the same thing when they are commuting for work, or when on the office to home in the transport, on the public transportations, for instance, or on the lunchtime. You know that people goes to their smartphone when they can to do something. Sometimes it's too much, but we know that is when you have some objective, you have the device already in your hands, so it's very easy to do it. So remember, last click for the last gives all credit to the last click that drives the conversion, and the first click, it's the opposite. First click drives makes the 100% attribution for the first click. That can be hug, that can be a campaign, that can be a social referral, and others. Okay, so now we are going to see what we can do now on Google Analytics. And as you can see, this is a position based model that you can and you should have a loopback window configured, like on the sales cycle, on the time span for the sales cycle to convert. That is very useful to you to understand the sales cycle. And as you know, if you can tight and diminish this sales cycle, you have more sales. So theoretical, but in practice, if you can do that, it's very good. So position based, you see on the left side the different models, okay, that you can choose, or you can do the position based and configure your own position based model. So I did here is 40, 20, 40% for the last interaction, and the loopback window for 90 days. So and I was distributing score to all page depth for this model. So what you can see is if you see the last interaction on the, so this is the last interaction and this is position based. ROAS is very useful to understand the return on advertising spending. As you can see, the difference between the models are here. So you paid search takes loses 17% to the position based. Okay, this means that paid search normally it's last click, or can be last click interaction and last click model. So it's true, you can have here, so last click to the position based loses 17%, but has a huge value. Okay, so you can see here it's that it's very useful to your return on advertising spending. So that's it for the Analytics Friday today. Hope you find this useful, and I see you next week on Analytics Friday. Take care.